Alright, welcome to a Resident Evil 2 demo review. Yesterday I got to play the Resident Evil 2 Remake one-shot demo on PlayStation 4, and it was awesome. The only flaw about it, it's only 30 minutes long and then the thing locks up and you can't play it again unless you open up another account. But I don't have any other PlayStation 4 accounts, and I really didn't feel like opening up another one just for this game. But it was fun to play while it lasted. During the demo, you basically play as Leon, and you adventure through the first part of the police station, and it's pretty much everything that we saw within the first trailer. So you're not really getting anything spoiled, you're just getting to see the first part, or you're getting to experience it firsthand rather than just watch a trailer. And it was very, very fun, and I enjoyed it. Visually, this game looks amazing, as we all know and expected it from the moment we saw it at E3. But the controls were very smooth. I liked it. Plays a whole lot like Resident Evil 4, but with Resident Evil 6 with the whole being able to move and shoot. So that's very, very convenient. And a lot of things are added to the story. As far as what we've seen, the characters have a lot more development to them and emotion to them, because Leon, for example, as you play, just in game, not even cutscenes, but in game, Leon will actually react to enemies, and he'll actually talk during, your combat with these creatures. And I really like that compared to, every other Resident Evil, where the character had no emotion whatsoever to the enemies. And back then, it was of course because of limitations, so that made sense. But really, even Resident Evil 7 with that Ethan Winters character did not have much personality, and that was because he was basically a camera for you and your personality to shine, which is one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of Resident Evil 7. But anyways, throughout the game's demo, you kind of go and you explore the iconic parts of this police station, a lot of which you will know and recognize if you ever played the original from 1998. And that's what I like about this remake, is it's not so dramatic of a remake that you don't recognize anything. You can still recognize plenty of things within this remake, so you're never lost, you're never feeling like you're playing a completely different game. You can tell this is Resident Evil 2. It's obvious. For example, this room that we're in currently is pretty obvious as to what this is. This is the room from the original where it's got a couple zombies in it when you first walk in. There's the candles on the wall. Of course, I don't think there's any candles on the walls anymore. At least I didn't notice, but I wasn't really looking, because again, we only had 30 minutes, so I wasn't able to experience everything in full detail. And the cool thing about this game, now in the original Resident Evil 2, there was a lot more light. But as you can see, I'm about to cut on this light switch, so we do know there will be light throughout the mansion, but throughout the police station. So that's convenient. And there is a run option. I actually discovered that also. So you do get to run, and it would seem that there probably is a stamina bar of some sort. I would imagine, maybe, but I don't know. I didn't really pay too much attention. I didn't really run that much. I mean, it's really more like a sprint anyways. But the atmosphere and just the amount of gore that this game has is awesome. It's very highly detailed, and there are so many iconic or not iconic, but soon to be popular puzzles. Like, I can tell a lot of these feel like the old days of Resident Evil with these puzzles, because at one point in the demo there's a part where you see this steam is just coming out, and you'll have to find a wheel. I couldn't find the wheel. I don't know if you can find the wheel in the demo, or if that's somewhere further in the game that we can't get to yet, but that's in this game. So you're going to have iconic little puzzles like that returning, which I'm looking forward to, because we haven't really had puzzles like that. We've had puzzles throughout the series still, but it's mostly been things like putting in some type of emblem to unlock a door. We haven't really had simple puzzles like, here, find this wheel to cut off this gas, or use this crank to open up this door or something. So it's nice to see that puzzles like that are returning. Another thing that I was liking about this game, and 7 also brought it back, was the journals. I do like the fact that we are getting those back, just because I just like to read those things. I mean, the Keeper's Diary in Resident Evil Remake is still my favorite out of all the diaries and journals that you ever read. But hopefully this remake will showcase some interesting ones. Now, the aiming in this game is great. I unfortunately sucked at it when I first started because I was still in the moment of just how good this game looked. So I was kind of distracted by the zombies, so I missed several shots while playing. But the controls are smooth. They're not bad at all. So there's nothing to worry about there. Now, it was a little tricky to get around, but that's expected when you first play. Because I was actually, at this point in the game, I was actually trying to figure out where to go to get out of here. Because I actually thought I was about to die because I could not figure it out. But it's not that hard. Once you get past the zombies, it's just right down the hall. It's just I had to get used to this new atmosphere and the lighting. And then I said the characters were given a lot more depth and emotion and everything. And one character so far, as we've seen, is Marvin. And they have really improved on his character. You can tell he's going to play a much bigger role in this one than what he did in the original. How long he'll last, I'm not really sure. And I'm also interested as to whether or not he will become like a mini boss of some sort. Or if they'll do like he did, or if they'll do like they did in the original and just make him and turn into a basic zombie that you simply kill. I think it'll be interesting to see, interesting to watch, but we'll see where Marvin's story ends. As we know, he has a pretty bad wound right there, so I don't imagine that he's going to make it too much further than this. The cutscenes in this game are nice. They're all very interesting. I wanted more. It's like you get to play the game and then the cutscenes keep coming, and then all of a sudden it just tells you thanks for playing, and it's like you just want more. You want the story to continue. So I really do like these cutscenes. They're well voice acted and everything. And there's a few other things as I continued playing that I actually did like. For example, you'll see it later on when we continue, is we all know the door loading screens are now gone. We no longer have the iconic door loading screens that the classic games brought us. That being said, we are getting something to replace it. When playing the demo, and I also noticed this when watching the trailer, is that you have the doorknob animations now, where it will actually go up to the doorknob and it will actually move the doorknob. And when you get the key for that door, you'll actually see the key go into the door's lock and unlock it. So you actually do still have some sort of animation that is added to this. So we may be losing the classic door loading screens, but we're gaining something else. And another thing that's nice about the door loading screens being gone, as iconic and as nostalgic feeling as they are, they now zombies can just open any door. And you'll see that as I play. Zombies can just open up any door that you walk into because every door is connected, every room is connected. There's no more loading screens to break them apart. So each one is its own, or each one is now connected to the other. And so zombies can follow you, and that's awesome. Whereas in previous games, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, zombies couldn't follow you because there was a load screen that cut them off. And they can only follow you is if the programmers program that specific room to be cut off from its load screen and the zombie can break the door. Now that's no longer the case. Now zombies can freely walk through the doors that you go to or follow you up the stairs or whatever. So it's almost like zombies are like Nemesis and Mr. X also, where you got to watch your back for those guys. just as much. Now they won't continue to follow you like Mr. X or Nemesis would, but they are around, and they do have the ability to open doors. So I thought that was very interesting, and that is something that I'm going to love in this game. And as you see, we do have herbs. They are in the demo. When I was first playing, I did not think we did have any health because I had been playing for a while and didn't see anything. But yes, there are herbs. And I eventually found a red herb at some point, and it doesn't have the... It's actually a different texture. It's not just the same texture model, but red. It actually looks different. So I like that they added a different look to each herb. And then as you could tell, that was the room where we first saw the very first liquor. And like I said, all of this is familiar. If you ever saw the E3 trailer, we've seen all of these things, and the detail in it is just amazing, especially when you play it up front. It's a whole different ball game. Like, it looks amazing in a trailer, and playing it through a trailer, or not playing it, but watching it through a trailer, that's one thing. But when you actually play it hands-on, it's so much more. And now this is the door animations that I was talking about. We don't have the loading screen, but we have that, where it goes up to the doorknob and it actually shows an animation. So I'm liking that. And I love the lighting in this. It's so good. It's dark, but as we've seen, you can light up certain rooms. So there are going to be rooms that can light up, and your flashlight gives off a pretty decent amount of light, so you don't have to worry about it being too dark or anything. It's just enough light where you can see what's going on. So I do like the lighting, and I am curious to see how other parts of this are going to look. More classic puzzles and little unlockables that I'm loving. Can't wait to see what sort of secrets the main game might have. There is film in this game, as we know. We already knew that was going to be confirmed. Now what will that film have? Who knows? And there's an example of a zombie walking into a door, which is awesome. So climb through this window, and there's just that much more to explore. You've got more zombies. They actually interact with objects now, whereas in the original Resident Evil 2, they just kind of walked around and stood around. Now they're like beating up on vending machines because they can't find a human to snack on. Bam, perfect headshot. But yeah, I am very much so ready for the 25th to get here. Like, it needs to hurry up. I pre-ordered the deluxe version probably about a week or so after E3, so I've been ready for this for quite some time. And this demo, it just got me more ready after playing it. Like, I cannot wait for this game to come out. Let's see, what else is there that I thought was kind of interesting? Or not kind of. Everything in this is very interesting. I just wish that I could have enjoyed it a little longer. Now, I did like this. In this room, it's another one of those iconic puzzle type things where there are certain things locked away, and in one of these rooms, or one of these locks has what looks to be a vest, but as you can see, there are codes on each one. That one I think was 230, but you don't have the 2 or the 3, so you can't access it. And I don't know if you can find it within the demo or not, because I didn't have time to look around. But in the game, that's definitely going to be something you have to find, are those keypads. Now luckily we did have the key card to get the shotgun, so we do have that going for us. And I like that you have these little things like, here's the shotgun and here's a vest if you can find these buttons. So I'm glad that we're going to get these sort of puzzles back. That's nice. And you could easily have gotten that handgun ammo if I wanted to, but I only had 30 minutes. I didn't want to waste it on getting handgun ammo. I wanted to explore as much of the rooms as I could possibly explore and check out. And there's another zombie about to open the door, but I blew his arm off and then shot him a couple times. And like I said, my aim was terrible in this first playthrough. And actually when I was playing, I actually thought from a distance that that was a liquor. I don't know if this is the room or not. This might, no, I don't think this is the room, but in a minute there is a room where I thought it was a liquor. Now this is the iconic room of Resident Evil 3, if you notice, where Nemesis breaks through the window. Now as you can tell, the window is replaced in a different area. It's no longer in front of the stairs, but next to the stairs. So that's interesting. And you also can notice the window is not broken. So what that tells me is that if Resident Evil 3 ever gets a remake, that jump scare of Nemesis breaking through that window is going to be cut out. And you will not, that won't be a jump scare because that window's no longer broken. So I thought that was interesting, just because I'm pretty sure Resident Evil 3 is going to happen. And based off of this demo, that's going to be terrifying when that day comes. Now here I wanted to test out the shotgun just because I was very curious as to how good the detail really was. And it is just as advertised from the trailer. It has so much detail, it just rips off the zombie's flesh completely. So this game is going to have an incredible amount of detail. One thing I was interested in is what kind of detail will our characters have when they take damage. I didn't really see much when I was damaged, but I didn't really pay attention to it all that much either. But I wonder, will we have any clothing that gets damaged, or will we have any cuts and bruises, or will it just be like every Resident Evil where we just kind of limp off and that's about it? And as you could see earlier, that was the red herb, and it was in a different texture model than the green herb. So they actually do look different. And then there's more exploring and a couple more rooms that we're actually able to go into. And this is that wheel I was talking about with the steam that you'll have to eventually find somewhere. Where? I don't know. And whether or not, I wonder if that will be the same wheel that you use for the helicopter that crashes. At least that's what happens in the original Resident Evil 2. I don't know if they'll continue that. And these are a couple of locks that you can't find. And an iconic little jump scare of the dead body falling out. I know Resident Evil 4 did that. And then, and see, the thing about this when I was playing is I only had 30 minutes, and it took me a little while to figure out to go up the stairs. That I was passing a couple of times, so I ended up walking around aimlessly trying to figure out where I was supposed to go and what I needed to do. And I think I go back into the save room. Let's see, yeah. Eventually I go in the save room. And I never actually looked into here very carefully. But obviously I don't believe zombies can come in here because this is a save room. I wouldn't expect zombies to come in here, but still, you never know. They could sneak one on us. Oh, that right there, that's something I'm very interested in. There's gunpowder in this game. I'm curious if that is going to work in the same way Resident Evil 3 did, where you can make your own weapons and your own like explosives and everything. I wonder if that's what Resident Evil 2 is going to do with its gunpowder. That would be kind of interesting. Now this is where we can obviously make that film and actually see what the picture is, but I didn't collect any of those. I wasn't interested enough to do that. I wanted to explore and just see the environments while I could. I'll look at the film when I actually get the game come the 25th. And I like the item box and how it returned much like it was in the original Resident Evil. Same looking design and everything, and the layout is pretty much the same. So I'm very glad that the item box is back, and it's a universal item box. So whenever you put something in one box, it's going to be universal to every box, just like the original item box. So that's nice. Glad they went that route and not the Resident Evil 0 route where you put down items. That would have been okay as long as there was also an item box option. Now I'm not too sure if you can put objects down or not. I never actually played around with it enough, but maybe you can. So maybe there is that element that Resident Evil 0 brought to the table. And there we just saw the liquor run across the window. So they did bring that back. It's just on a different window. Now, that's why I pulled out my shotgun, because I saw the liquor And I loved it because it was so tense. It's like all you have to do is see that liquor run across the window and you immediately know, pull the shotgun out because something could be coming. Now for a little bit, I kind of got lost as to where I was supposed to go. And I kind of got to walking around, looking around for a while. But there's actually a busted open wall that you're supposed to go into, but I somehow missed it. And also, I like Leon's design in this. The jacket looks good. The uniform looks good. This is a very good looking design for him. Really, all the characters have good design models for everyone. I think this game probably has some of the best looking character models for the characters. Ada, Claire, Leon, etc. They all look great. And they actually look like their characters, whereas in previous titles, the character models would be off by some degree. Whether it be Resident Evil 6 Ada, she just never looked quite like Ada to me in that game. Or Resident Evil 7 Chris, where he didn't really look like himself in that game. These characters look like their younger selves. This is how I would imagine that they would look. So the character models in this game look amazing. Definitely an A+ in that category. And eventually I should find that gaping hole, because this is the room it's in. So yeah, I should find that soon. Yeah, there it is. And I hate I never went down this way. I just kind of look over there and then I walk away. And now we're in another lightly lit room, which signifies that there will be lights in this game. You're not just going to be walking around and it be completely dark and you can't see anything. No, there's going to be light. There will be, you know, that to look forward to. Another thing I'm very curious about is whether or not Crimson Heads will actually make an appearance. I don't know if they will or not, but it is possible. Now, I never used this. I don't know if you could in the demo, but it's obviously going to play some sort of role within the story. Don't know what you can do with it. And I was just about to shoot this guy, but I was like, you know what? Let him have his lunch. Let him enjoy himself. And there's just so much going on. Zombies start to rise. You don't even expect it. So lots of neat enemies, and the only thing that you really face in this trailer, or this demo rather, is zombies. I don't recall ever facing anything else, and I don't know if it's possible to face anything else. I don't know, maybe there's another path throughout this demo, but I never went that path. Like I said, before I walked into this room, there looked like there was another area that you could have explored, so maybe there was something that you could have fought if you went that way, but I didn't go that way. But I wouldn't really imagine that they would let you fight the liquor in the demo. I'm pretty sure they would want to save that caliber of an enemy for when you play the actual game. And now we're back full circle as we meet Marvin. Honestly, it kind of makes you wonder why we even went out there to begin with. And there's Claire on the laptop. You get to see her. And that's another thing that's one thing I'm going to find interesting, is they said that they're no longer going to be doing the A/B scenarios. And if that is the case, then what that means is that when you play either Leon or Claire, you have equal chance of running into Mr. X or William Birkin. You could run into either one of them. Well, I mean, that would be an interesting concept if that is what could happen. But, you know, I'm just looking really forward to the game anyways. Don't know what the possibilities are. Got only 2 weeks left. But I want to go ahead and end this episode here. I'm actually going to show the trailer, but I'll end it here. And I will see you all for the next episode. See ya then.
I want to find out what's happening here.
She's the one at Umbrella responsible for unleashing the virus.
Seems to be evolving much faster than expected. You gotta be kidding me.
God only knows what's down here.
What the hell?
It'll be all over soon.
I'll get you, you fucker!
Ada!
Sherry, I'm coming!
I'm not handing over anything!
Jesus Christ.
Who's that?
You don't know what you're up
The whole
against.
place is coming down.
That's a pretty damn good idea.
This is Hunk from Alpha Team.
Man, I thought you were all wiped out.